Debbie here from Craftywafty, and we are carrying on with our lovely Christmas album, or as I like to refer to it as the big one. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, so tonight, I don't know about you, but it's very blustery and windy out there, so I'm not going to hang about. We're just going to plough through another 5 pages of the album. If you've not seen the last couple of weeks that I've been doing this, you can pop on to our Facebook page. They're on there. I will be honest, I'm in the process of uploading the others onto YouTube, but with anything with technology, they just take forever and a day, but I promise that they will be on there fairly soon. I know the first part is on there, so if you want to go and learn how to make the album itself, then obviously you can go on and do that. Will you just excuse me for a minute? Oh dear, got a bit of a tickle in the throat tonight. Okay, let's have a quick slurp of tea and then I think we'll get cracking on. Okay, so I'm just going to show you in the main album the pages that we're going to be doing tonight. Okay, if you've not seen this before, so we've already done this one. Did this one a couple of weeks ago. We've done all of these. Let's have a little look. So I'm going to explain how to make this one. This is the one with like the little curved insert in, but what I'll probably do is come back and show you that one in just a moment while I've got this album out on the table. We're going to do the W fold tonight because I love this one because it sort of pops up and down like a little pop-up, so I do like that one. We're going to do the diagonal page, but the stacked diagonal pocket. So we've got 3 stacked pockets on here. Oh, let's just move that stuff out the way, getting everything all caught up in the way. There we are. We're going to do the 4 little pockets that do a little, it was based on my square dance from the Flapper album, but what I like about these is that you can twist them round and then you can have lots of other different page photos and things on there, and then they can come up and then they can flip back down again. So we're going to be doing that one. These ones we did last week, and the photo corners, but this one we're going to do tonight as well, which is like the little mini folio that's in our album. So that will just open up. You've got a nice little sort of pocket there, and then if I just slide that down there you've got the belly band as well. So that's what we're going to do with that. So I'm just going to pop that over. We did the chevron last week as well, and then hopefully next week will be our last week in terms of making everything and put it together, so that then it's just a case of over to you for decoration. Okay, so let me just pop to this one, because this particular pocket here, or page here rather, let's just see where I've put on one of my, let's have a little look. That's right, I've got all my stuff stashed here beside me, trying to be really mega organised tonight, but you know what it's like. You sort of, you think you're organised and then you find something that you're not. Right, okay, let's just go in and have a little look here. So I'm just going to do the twisted squares on there. Let's just move them out on the side. So basically with this page here is that let's just take those bits out. I've just used a piece of patterned card or paper, and I've literally just cut a die into that gives me that really lovely curved shape. Now the dies that I use for this, love this company, coolcatscraft.com. Really worth a little pop over to have a little look. Now these they call their curved pierced pocket slots, and if I just open this up and just show you what's inside, just pop that on there. You get all these different sizes. So oops, so let's just have a little look. Let's just dig these all out. You get all these different sizes of dies. So you've got the nice little curved pockets. So depending on how big a curve you want on there, you've got all these different sizes. Whoops, that's the one that I used for that. And you've got another 2 bigger dies as well. But you get the set of 4. I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly how much these were, but do pop along to their website because they've got loads of other goodies in there, which are really handy for sort of making albums and stuff with. So they do like little fasteners and a variety of other different dies as well. I know they do a straight range as well, and I've actually used the straight range on another project that will be coming out next year. So but yeah, these are absolutely fantastic. So, you know, I'm all for sort of shouting out other companies, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is seeing what's out there, and using the best tools for the job that you want. So, coolcatscraft.com, okay, little shout out to them. So basically, I cut out my page, which was 7 inches by 7 inches, and I came in just 1/8 of an inch round, I do believe. Let me just double check that for you. Yeah, so yeah, 7 inches by 7 inches. Okay, and then I literally just run it through the die cutting machine and cut that out. And what I love about this is that because I'm using the black card, it actually, you see the little bit of black card that pokes through. I just run a bit of distress ink through there, and then it gives me the opportunity then to tuck in all my little extras that I wanted to do. And then on the front here, I just had a really lovely die cut of a poinsettia and like a Christmas rose, which just blended in lovely with the rest of the page and that. So it's worth popping over and have a little look on that. So that is basically how I did the curved insert page. Really straightforward. So I'm not really going to do this on my album because I as I said, I'm not going to necessarily decorate this one. I'm going to leave it blank for the time being, but I just wanted to show you what that looked like. Really, really simple. Now, if you didn't have a die and you wanted the same sort of effect, then you can either use a protractor, maybe sort of draw around something circular and just cut round it with a craft knife. Or if you didn't want to do it curved, you could do a straight across, you could do it like a diagonal. So it's really up to you if you didn't have that and that's what you wanted to do. So I just wanted to sort of give you a heads up on that. Okay, so moving on then, one of the first pages I'm going to show you is the little square dance, or the twist it squares, so I like to call them. Now these are cut at, let's just pop that out the way, 4 inches by 3.5 inches times 4. Okay, so I've got 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we are. Sort of like pick a card. And I've scored on the 4-inch side. I've scored 1/2 inch. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's take my little sticker off. There we go. So I've scored on the 4-inch side 3.5 inches, because if you think the page is sort of 7 inches and then you've got 3.5 inches to 3.5 inches, then obviously you want them to be able to sort of close over nicely together. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add some lovely red liner tape on here. So let's just turn these around so it's nice and easy to do that. So I've got the lovely red liner tape. Now if you're joining us this evening, please do say a quick hi. It'd be lovely to see who is watching this evening. And give us a little, I can give you a little shout out. So do put a little comment in the little comments box. Oh dear, excuse me. I really am coughing away tonight. Just a little bit of a tickle, I think. I think it is the season, isn't it? 'Tis the season to be snotty. Well, I'm certainly not that at the moment, but definitely got a little tickle. Right, so I'm just going to put those on there. Where are we? Here we are, number 3. Now I'm using live. I'm currently doing my live. Just to let everybody know, this is Karen. I don't know if you can hear her, but the sister-in-law, who's also the buyer for our goodies. So, do you want to say hello to everybody? Everyone. I know you can't see her, but you can probably hear her. So, yeah, so I'm right in the middle of doing my live. So, was there anything major that you needed?
No.
No?
Catch up with you later.
Shall I ring you when we're all done?
I do apologise.
You do apologise. It's Thursday. I wouldn't mind, everybody, but I do say to the family, don't ring me on a Thursday evening. And a big fail. Big fail. But there we go. All right, not a problem.
Talk to you later.
All right, we'll do. Take care. Ciao. Right. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. So there's always a bit of excitement going on here in the studio. So right, I've got my burnish. I'm just sort of giving these a quick little rub down. So she's not gonna be happy with that layer. She'll be like, oh no, you should have told me. So we did tell you. Right, okay, so now I've put the lovely red liner tape on here. I'm just going to fold these back and I'm just going to give these a little burnish. Like so, because we want nice creases. There we are. And we're just going to do the next one. Like so. And the final one on here. Oops. Let's just put that on. Okay, that's really good. So, oh, I think now, who have we got? Is it Enid watching us? So, Enid, if you're watching, just say hi, hello. Say a little comment in the comments box, just that, you know, let me know where you're watching from. Would be lovely. Always happy to see where all our people are watching, so that's really good. You'll have to excuse me, it's a bit nippy out here today. So I've got a little blanket. Don't you can see my little blanket here. I've got sort of tucked on my lap just to try and keep myself a little bit toasty while we crack on. Okay, where were we? Right, our little square dance. So in order for the flip movement to go and for them to twist around, we need to make sure that the way that we line these up is so that we've got these folds going like almost round in a circle. So the first fold I'm just putting there, then the second fold I'm lining up on the top of that, then the third one will come this way, and then the fourth one will come down like that. So they're almost opposite. So if you can see what I've got there, so you've got two coming that way and you've got two coming that way. Okay, now trying to put these all on can be a little bit fiddly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just so that I make sure that I do line these up nicely, I'm just going to use a little bit of repositionable tape, and I'm just going to hold down 2 for the minute as a rough guide. I'll just run a little bit of tape along there just so that I'm holding them down so I can see roughly where I'm going to place those, and then I can line the other ones in situ. And I'm just going to put the third one down on there, and again I'm just going to run a little bit of tape on there, so I'm just making sure that I'm getting all my edges lined up together, and then so just tuck that in there. I'll just move that one like so. Where are we? There we are. Let's just line you up like that, and I'm just going to hold that on the page and just give that a rough check just to see how I'm doing with my distance. Oops, it's sticking to my finger now. Right, and I'm just going to add another little bit of tape just to try and hold these down while we do this. So that's going to hold there, that's going to hold there. I'm quite happy with the position. Now, because I'm doing this on the back of the page, the score line for the hinge bit is this side, so I'm just going to tuck that down on there just to hold that in place, and I'm just going to do the same on the other side so it's not going anywhere, is the plan. Once you've got the first 2 in, it's not too bad then, because then you've got something to go by for your guidelines. Okay, so this one I'm going to peel off, and that is literally just going to slot into that gap. Okay, so what did I do with my pokey tool? There we are. Let's just find my pokey tool. Who else have we got watching tonight? Oh, we've got Karina. Hi, Karina. Lovely of you to come and join us this evening as well. So hope you're enjoying the lovely wet weather out there. Trust me, it is blowing a gale out here at the moment. So just trying to make sure that we get everything done. Right, okay, so I'm just going to tape that down. Now with anything, I've taken the red liner tape right off. I'm just literally going to add a little bit of glue to do the little wiggle bit. Just a little bit of wiggle on there. Let's just move slightly because I've just knocked it. Now, as my granddad would say, measure twice, cut once. So we're going to line it up and just make sure that that's not going to move. And I'm just going to weight that down. There we are. Okay, right, so I've got my glue, got my page, and I'm going straight in. So I'm coming along that edge there and along this edge here, and that's how I'm going to try and line it up. So I'm just going to tuck that in. That comes in. I've got a nice sort of square finish to that, and that is the first one down. Lovely. Okay, now I'm going to come along. I'm going to just take that bit off there. I'm going to hold this bit down, hold that on there, and then I'm going to do this second one. I'm just going to put that, reuse that tape then just to hold that in place. So this one, the hinge is coming this way. So again, I've now got something, a nice straight edge there that I can butt that right up against and use as my guide. So let's just peel off the red liner tape. And I'm just run a little bit of glue on there just to give me a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm coming in with the hinge bit coming down the bottom. So I'm lining it up with that edge like so. I can see where that is now. And then I'll run that along, and that's coming along down that edge there. Right, okay, now I've got those two in. The other two should be fairly straightforward to add in. So, oops, taking a little bit of that hinge off, and that's all right. Okay, let's peel these off. Okay, I'm just going to peel off this other one. Like so. And then we're just going to peel off these last two. All right. So this one is like opposite to that one, so it's going to go with the hinge coming in on the inside. And again, we're just going to put a little bit of glue on there, like so. That just helps with any manoeuvrability that we might need, and lining it up. So I'm just lining that up there. That's sitting fairly straight. Quite nice and straight on that bottom edge, like so. So at the moment we've got it going, lift in, lift it, so these flap beautifully over and back, like so. Here we are. And then the final one we're going to do is just going to pop this one. And now this one I did opposite to that one, so this one is going to have the hinge at the top coming in here. So again, we're just going to peel that off, the red liner tape, a little bit of glue. Oh, I'm getting to the end of this glue. I've got just enough. I think I've got just enough in this bottle. I do like to use every little drop. That's it. Let's put that in my little holder. That hopefully give me a little bit more glue for later. There we go. All right. And now the last one is just coming in, and again I'm lining it up against that edge there as the hinge, and I'm coming in down and just making sure that that is sitting fairly flat. And then I'm just going to come in and sharpen up those edges. And there we are. And that literally is my, as I call it, square dance, but with a twist. Okay, so that lifts up. That one can flap over. You can have that one to go back down over there. You can put that one up. That one can come across. So it gives you all these lovely options. Okay. Now, when you come to decorating this one, I actually put some magnets on these because obviously, as you can see in the album, they're probably going to catch. So I did put magnets under the layers to hold it down in place. And then when you swap them over, then you can, the magnets on your page will hold as well. Okay, so they'll hold that down, and that twists right the way around. So I've twisted that the other way as well. And that is it. Fairly straightforward. Okay, that's our lovely little square dance twisted page. Right, moving swiftly on then. What shall we do next? Shall we do the, let's have a little go at the portfolio. Let's do the portfolio next. Okay, let's just pop those bits out of the way. Let's just move everything out of the way. Make sure we're all nice and neat and tidy. Okay, so the portfolio has got a pocket on it and also a belly band. Okay, so what I like about this is that, you know, it's just an extra element. You know, you think it's just going to be a front page, but then you open it up and then it's got lots of lovely little goodies and stuff inside. Now, I've already pre-scored these, so I'll just go through these measurements for you. Okay, this one I'm putting on the back of my diagonal pocket we did a couple of weeks ago, and I've got the hinge on the right hand side. So that's the way that I'm going to have this. So when it goes into the album, it's going to open up that way. Oh, hang on a minute, Deb. No, actually, I want it to open up the other way. That's the W. I know I'd got my pages around the wrong way. Right. I'm going to put it on this one. I have to double check these things. I'm just trying to visualise how it's going to go into the album and which way I want it to open. Yeah, because that's going to be the W pocket, and then that will be the diagonal on the sides. That's better. All right. Okay, where were we? Our page. So I've got my page hinge bit, and that's going to be attached to the album on the left hand side. And then I've got one piece cut at 7 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. I've also got another piece cut at 8 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and then I've got another piece cut at 3 1/2 inches by 8 1/4 inches. And these are going to create the belly band, the pocket, and the flap that's going to open out. Okay, so this is the little belly band, 3 inches by 8 1/4. So I'm just going to add a little bit of red liner tape on the top and the bottom here. So let's just pop these on. Just going to pop a little bit of red liner tape on. And these were scored at 1/2 inch on each end, just so that you know that. Okay, I'm just going to pop that in on there, like so. Okay, where's my Bernie? Here's my Bernie. Bernie should just come in and across like so. Lovely. All right, and then I'm just going to fold that back so that's ready to go on the flap bit when we put it on the front of the flap there. This is going to be the pocket. Now, if you've been watching any of my other videos or what we've been doing here on Facebook, I make the pocket exactly the same as I do all the others. Basically, this is 8 1/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches on this one, and I've scored 1/2 inch around 3 sides. Okay, because these are the bits that are going to fold back to make the pocket, and then you've got that side clear. So we're just going to pop the red liner tape on. Now I always put the red liner tape on first before I miter the corners, because then it gives me tape right up to the edge once we've cut that. So we're just going to come in and do this bit. There we go, like so. I'm just going to snip that off. Here we are. Again, I'm going to get my little burnie. Just going to come around and burnish. So, okay. And then again, when I cut the corners, when I miter the corners, I cut diagonal across through the cross, and then I give it a little wonk. As I like to call it, a Charlie. All right. As in Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, because you have Willy Wonka, if you get my drift. So we're just going to get a little Charlie, give that a little wonk on there. And that's my corners mitered off. Now the reason why I give it a little wonk is that when you fold back your edges, okay, is that you don't get a really big bulky bit, so that you find that it comes across like that, so you've got a nice and flat finish on your pocket. Okay, and just give that a little burnish, like so. All right, and then the last piece is the big piece, which was 7 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches, and I scored 1/2 inch on the 6 1/4. Okay, and I'm just going to run some red liner tape down here, if I can find the end. So it's getting to that season, isn't it, you know, where you start wrapping all your presents for Christmas and you find the sellotape and you think, great, I've got my sellotape, and then it takes you like half an hour to find where the end is. Exactly the same with the red liner tape. So really perhaps I should have it on a dispenser or something. That might be better. Okay, right, so I've burnished that, and I'm just going to fold back on that edge again. I'm just going to run my little burnie tool all the way down there, like so. Okay, now in my main album I did corner round the flap, so if you want to do that, you can absolutely go ahead and sort that out. Now how we're going to put this together is that we've got the pocket, so the pocket's going to come on the left hand side. The flap bit, or the front of the folio, is going to come on the right hand side, so you get that little bit of overlap. Okay, and then when we open this up, the belly band is going to tuck on the inside. But if you don't want to put it on the inside, you don't have to. In fact, you can, if you really wanted. You've got the pocket there, you've got the outside of the flap there, and if you wanted, you could put it on the outside. Your choice. Really doesn't matter. But the way I designed it was to have it on the inside, so that when you opened it up, you had some lovely little things tucked in. So let's pop these on. Okay, now whenever I do my pockets, I always do the bottom part of the pocket first. Now some of you, if you've been watching me, I do this little trick. I just fold back the red liner tape, and then that gives me an opportunity to sort of line this up before I pull the whole thing away. Or you could add some glue on there, whichever you want, but I'm going to go rogue tonight. I'm just going to take it off and go for it. Why not, indeed? So let's just line this up. Line it up, not right against the score line for the hinge, because I just need a little bit of wiggle room, and I'm just going to put that down like so. There we are. I'm just going to give that a nice little burnish across there, and once I've done that bit, now I can do the sides and drop them down. Just makes it a little easier. And to be honest, as I've said before, with any of these, once you know how to make the pocket or a flap or something, then you're off and you're away. You know, you can be as creative as you like. You can make them all different sizes. I mean, in the last few weeks we've done triangle pockets and that, you know, and it's just a combination of all these different different styles of pockets and things that just make up the pages. So the choice is absolutely yours. You know, if you don't like one of them, then don't put it in, just go for something different. You know, be creative. That's what I love about this all. Okay, and that literally is our pocket in already. How simple was that? Okay, and I'm just going to run my burnish along the top and the bottom there, so we've got nice crisp edges. And then I'm going to do the bigger part. I'm going to do the flap. Okay, and again I'm lining it almost to the edge of the page. I'm coming in just a fraction. Okay, and again, like I said before, you know, if you're unsure about sticking this straight down, either do the half the red tape or take the whole thing off and run some glue along it, just to give you a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to line that up, just coming in, because this red liner tape is not very forgiving, and once you've stuck it down, that is it. Right, and there we go. And that's it. And now I'm just creasing that along, and the beauty of it is that it lines up nicely with the whole page as well. And like I said, if you wanted to round off the corners, this will be a good time to do it before you start sort of putting it into the album. Then it gets a little bit, if we like to call it in our trade, cack-handed. Okay, now just for the belly band. All right, and the belly band I'm literally just going to put on the inside of that flap. That's literally going to sit like that. Now I use my grid on my mat as a rough guide to see just how many I need to come in from either side. So let's go 1, 2, 3 solid there, 1, 2, 3. So that needs to come over a little bit, so you can just sort of work out roughly, or if you want to get a ruler and do that, you can measure it so you get the distance just right. And again, I always put the bottom on first, so we're just going to tuck that in. So that's my edge coming in. That's got a little bit over there, so let's just, so we've got 1, 2, 3, it's pretty much there. Okay, there we are. And then I'm just going to unpeel and do the top one, and that is everything done on that one. And like I said, it's come together so quickly. Once you've got everything cut out, you know, you've got all your measurements and everything scored, these really don't take that long to put together. I mean, the album looks amazing, and people think you spend hours and hours there. In fact, it's probably the decorating that takes the time. But there we are. So we've got the belly band, and we've got the little flap that comes over on our portfolio on one of our pages. And that is that one done as well. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. Now, I think what we'll do next is the diagonal, the stacked diagonal pocket. Now, I think it was last week we did just the one singular pocket. Okay, but on this one we're going to do 3. Just making sure you see I've got the flapper page on the back there. And this is where I need to make a decision which way I want the diagonal pockets to go, whether I want them to come over on this corner or up by the hinge on there. But because I've got this page which has got that pocket in on its own, when I put it into the album I'm going to have these opposite. Okay, so I'm going to have the diagonals coming that way, the 3, and then I've got the single one on that side, so they're going to come over on this side. Now if you watched last week, basically the squares, I cut a 7.5 inch square, and then I cut it diagonal across, and then what I did was I then reduced the one that I'd cut in half down to a 6.5 inch square. Okay, and then the last one was a 5.5 inch square, and that's why you get the different sizes as they come down. Okay, so 7.5, 6.5, 5.5 inch squares cut diagonally. Okay, but like I said, I did use the other half to sort of make the 6.5 inch one to not waste any paper. And if you've actually cut out one of these, you'll probably have another half of that, which you could probably use to cut out your 5.5 inch. Just trying to save paper. Okay, now on here we're going to again put red liner tape. But before we do that, I'm just going to fold these edges over because I need to trim off these ends, because once you fold them over you're going to get this bit sticking out here. So I'm going to cut those, okay, and then that means then I can line up the red liner tape on there. So let's just cut that off, and I'm going to cut it off at an angle, and I'm going to come in just a little bit when I cut it. So now I've opened that up, you can see that on there. And you can do that on the other side. So I'm just doing it on this one just to show you what we're aiming to do. Okay, and then obviously we will miter the corners as we do with all our other pockets. But I'm going to stick the red liner tape on so that when I cut it, it will go right up to that edge. So let's just find our red liner tape, which is, again, here we are, that's the end. Okay, so I'm just going to take that across where I've just cut that. I'm just going to slip that across there, and then we're just going to come in on that one, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on the other two pockets. Just trim off that last little bit. Get it off my scissors because it sticks to everything. There we are, and then we're just going to do the other two, and then I'm going to trim them down as well. So can you believe it? We're into December now. Has everybody done all their Christmas shopping? I think I'm almost there. I've still got a few little bits and pieces to pick up, but I think I'm almost done. I've got a couple of gifts to make, so I need to get cracking on with those. It's quite like about Christmas, is, you know, I'm very fortunate that I have friends and family that do appreciate handmade gifts. I'm even getting requests from some of them now because they've seen things that I can do. Can you make me one of these? And go, right, okay, I'll have a go. I'll make you one of those. But yeah, so I just think it's a lovely time of year. I'm just going to snip that bit off. Okay. Right, let's see where we are at. Okay, right, where's me Bernie? Do love me bit of Bernie. Zoom this along here just to hold that down in place, because these are going to be part of the construction. I always like to double check that I go over these nicely, like so. And then we're just going to do that on there. Okay, right. So this is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for that. Now on the corner, I'm just going to miter across on this one. Again, I'm going to cut up to the cross bit and then give it a little wonk. Okay, so now when I fold that down, again, I've got a really nice flat corner on there. Okay, and on these ones, let's just fold these back. So I'm going to do these one at a time, and I'm going to trim off these end bits. Like so, and then we'll do the other side, just fold that, like so, there we are, and then I'm going to miter that corner, and again across to the crossover where the score line is, and then just give it a wonk, like that. Here we are, and then that gives us a nice point on that one, and then the very last pocket. Okay, and we're just going to pop that in and cut that one off. Do the same on the other one. Just trim that like so. And the last corner we're going to mitre, and then that is everything ready for our pocket. Okay, now then you can do this one of two ways. You can either stick all your pockets on together like so and have them all there ready to go before you put them on, or you can put them directly on one at a time. So I'm just going to do it this way. Okay, I could just see how straight the edge is. I'm just going to give this a little burnish just to make sure they're nice and crisp. Okay, oh, looks like we've got Beryl watching as well. Hi Beryl. Put a little comment in the on the page for me would be lovely, just to say hi. Right, I'm going to peel off the red liner tape. Now again, like with the main pockets, I always do one side first. Going to line that right into that pocket, but I'm coming in by about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. I'm just going to stick that one down, and then I will come and peel this one off and put the other one down like so. I'm just going to fold that in. That's going to come over, and I'm just going to drop that down. You can see I've got a nice straight edge on there, and that is our first pocket in. And then we're going to come with our second pocket, and we're going to do exactly the same. I'm going to take the bottom one off first. Like I said before, if you're unsure about just putting this straight down, then just add a little bit of glue to it. Now this, I don't want to step it in. I want it to sit edge to edge. So I want that bottom edge to line up with the edge of the other pocket that we've just put in. Okay, so it sort of stacks it. All right, and then we're just going to do the last peel off that bit on there. Just going to fold that down, and again, so I'm just making sure that that is lining up beautifully on there like so. So 1, 2 pockets, okay, and then the final pocket is going to come in and sit on the top like so. I'm doing the bottom first, peel that off, and again I'm going to line it up so it stacks right on top. Okay, that's it, give that a good press down, and then we're just going to do this last one on here. Oh, that's Mickey, if you can hear him in the background. Are you wanting to go out, Mick? Is that what you're after? Right, there we are. That is the diagonal stacked pocket. Just going to let my cat out. Right, there we go. Go on then. Out you go. But don't worry, he'll be back in 5 minutes, because he'll get indoors and realise I'm not in there with him, and then he'll come back at the door, meowing again as usual. So I'm surprised he's not jumped up on the page, on the table, to be honest. He's done that before in the past, right in the middle of me doing something, and he's just literally jumped everywhere. Right across everything. So right, okay, so we have done so far the portfolio flap pocket with the belly band, the diagonal stacked pocket, we've done the square dance one, and I've talked you through about the curved insert as well. So that just really leaves us with the W fold, which is where it goes across 2 pages. Now, the thing with this one is that you need to really put the pages in together first before you can fix this one down, okay? Because the way that once you open it up, then obviously then the pop-up happens. All right, so what we'll do is that we'll prepare everything ready for this one. Okay, and yes, you could in fact, you know, sort of join it to one side, but we wouldn't be able to join it to the other side of the other page that it's going to sort of come across, if you understand what I mean. And I sort of showed you through the album. Okay, now for this one you'll need 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 little cards times 4, because these are what you're going to stick onto your page, and that are going to create the pop-up when you do the W. Okay, and the next bit that we're going to need, so I've already pre-cut them ready, so depending on what I'm going to stick on those, whether it's photos or it's a little message or something like that. Okay, but the W fold is 2 inches by 12 inches times 2, because what we actually need is a 16-inch strip. So obviously with our 12 by 12 card, unless you've got A3 size, we're not going to get a full 16 inches out of that, so that's why we're using the 2. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to join 2 strips together with a bit of red liner tape. So let's just stick that on first, and then I will trim it down to the 16 inches. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of red liner tape on there. Just stick that like so. Okay, and I'm literally just going to stick that over the top like that. Okay, so let's just peel that off. And again, just making sure that I get these nicely lined up. There we are. That's all that done. Okay, and that needs to be 16 inches, because what we're going to do is we're going to score it 4, 8 and 12 along the length. Okay, so let's get my little ruler. So obviously that's 12, and then I need to add on, so I'm just going to line this up. Now you can't quite see it off with camera, but I have got it lined up right against the edge. Okay, and then so because that's 12 and I need 16, so I've got another little 4-inch one, so I'm just going to butt that up against it, and then I'm just going to literally cut that. So that is our 16 like so. Okay, nice and easy way of doing it. Unless you've got a really massive ruler that will do 16 inches, then great. Okay, now we've got that, I just need to get my big scoreboard. Let me just grab that. Oh, goodness me. Right, here we are. Ooh. Okay, and I'm going to score it 4, 8 and 12 on here. Like so. Just move that out of the way. I just had a sudden thought. No, I was right. 16 inches. 16 inches long. Right, okay, so we're going to come along 4. And I'm going to come along 8. And then I'm going to come along the 12. Now the 12 is actually right on that fold there where I've joined that other bit in, so that will just, and that just sort of nicely covers that up really. So that's all good, and then these will be folding like so. So the idea is that you're going to have like 2 valleys and a mountain. Okay, all right, so it gives you, that's why we call it like the W. Well, I call it the W fold. All right, because you've got that coming down and up and down like so. Right, we just move the scoreboard out the way. And the idea is that when these stick to the page, so if I just grab one of the pages, oh, chair's moving about tonight. So when we come to put our 2 pages together, let me just grab another page. So say for example, these are the 2 pages that are going to be on the hinge in the album, that when we come to fit these together, so I'm just going to overlap that for a minute because you won't see that bit in the middle, but what we're going to do is we're going to glue one side down flat completely, and then the other side will be glued down flat, and then that leaves us with that hinge in the middle. So when you close it and open it, you get that, you get the little pop-up, okay? And then you will have your cards that will sit on these bits that will go like so, okay? And then the same on the other side. And that is pretty much it for that one. So although we've prepped it, it's probably best not to glue it down until we've got the pages in the album, and then you can align it exactly where you need it to go, okay? And then we're all good to go. So that was literally the W fold. And to be honest, that's all I was going to cover tonight, but we have got a little bit of time left. In fact, we've got a fairly decent bit of time left. So I think what I might do is show you how to make a couple of the little insert bits that I do, the little accordion books that I make, and the little mini folio as well. So I'm going to show you those tonight, because then that means next week I can talk to you a little bit more about decorating the inside of the album in terms of the covers, okay? So that's doing the pop-up cover, I think is what I planned for next week, and doing the back cover, and just generally doing the decoration and the assembly of all the pages. So let's make our little accordion book. So this one I've cut at 4¼ inches by 9 3/4 inches. I've literally just got the one, but that's not to say that if you wanted to add some more in, you could do. That's really no trouble at all, okay? If you wanted to put more of these in the pockets, then that's completely up to you, but I'll just show you. And it's really very simple, this one. Oh, she says, pulling that out. And all I'm going to do is score on the 9 3/4 inch side. I'm going to score 3 1/4, and then I'm going to do 6 1/2. And then I'm just going to fold those back on each other like so. So you get a little, and that is it. That is the accordion page, you know, the little book. You know, just score the, you know, fold these in like so. Just give these nice sharp, and then you just decorate them however you want. I mean, it's, you know, and this is what I love to use all my scraps up for, is making the little books and things that go inside, because you know, you're using all of those nice little bits up. And if you wanted, if you had some scrap left over, you could even make a nice little belly band to go around it, or, you know, sort of, or a little seat belt, whichever way you want to do it. You know, if you wanted to stick something on the back and fold it over. If you've made the Flapper album, you'll see where I've talked about seat belt closures and stuff as well. Or you could just make a little belly band to slip over the top, but choice is yours. So that is really a very simple thing, but it looks really effective, and obviously you can make it as big or as small as you like, okay? But just make sure with your measurements that obviously you're measuring it into thirds, okay? Or if you're doing a much longer piece, you might decide to do a 12-inch strip, and then you'll fold that into your threes, so you get 4 sides, if you see what I mean. But job's done on that one. That wasn't very difficult. And then the little mini folio, okay, I've got here at 4 3/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. So that's those 2 bits, and I've got 2 of those. So that was 4 3/4 inches by 6 1/4 inch. And then I've got one piece at 3 1/4 inch by 6 1/4. Okay, so we'll just put this together as well. So I score 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 inch side, have I done that right? I'm just thinking about this. No, I do believe it's going this way actually, because I'm making it to come across and then across and then across. So that's my mistake. Let's have a little look where I did the little album. Yeah, so it's actually scoring on the 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 inch side. So I've got this side round the wrong way. There we are. So 1/2 inch down there, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on this one. So both pieces I'm scoring 1/2 inch oh, excuse me, on the 4 3/4 inch side. Right, now that is completely finished with the scoreboard. Let's just tuck that away, and I'm going to add, it's got a little rough edge there. I'll glue that one down. Right, okay, and then I'm going to add some red liner tape coming across the bottom like I've done on the others. So get my lovely red liner tape. Oh, we got Jackie on tonight as well. Hi Jackie, thank you for the little hello. So it's good to see that we've got some people joining us this evening. Right, let's pop the red liner tape on all the way along. Now these are really easy to make. In fact, you could make loads of these and have these as little teacher gifts. Just this little folio bit that we're doing here. Okay, if you wanted. All right, because that will be like that. That's going to glue on like that. That will fold over, and I've just realised that I should have put a score line on this one. That's all right. Problem solved. Or should I have done that slightly differently? She says. How big is that? 3 1/4. I think I should have cut that 3 3/4 actually. Let me just readjust, and we'll do that, because I want the 1/2 inch on that 3 3/4 inch side. So I will cut that. I think because that's a bit rough, perhaps I misplaced the bit that I needed. Right, let me get another bit out. So let's cut this down first. Right, where was I? So 3 3/4 inches. So that's 4. Cut these like so. Okay, 3 3/4 inches by 6 1/4. So I'm just going to trim this down by 6 1/4. Just going to trim that off. This is why it's always handy to have a little bit of black cardstock sat right next to me for any of these little minor hiccups. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to score down on here 1/2 inch on the 3 3/4 inch side. There we go. That's more like it. Right, and then we're just going to put red liner tape on these edges as well. Just going to run that along like so. I'm going to trim that off. Snip. That way. I'm just going to come along and do this last little bit. So where was I? Oh yeah, so I was saying that these make really cute little teachers' gifts, making up these little mini folios. Okay, you know, so you can put pictures in, or you can write messages and things like that in, but it's just something quick and easy, and they look really effective, certainly once they're all decorated. Okay, all right, let's run that along there. Now I'm going to fold one bit over, okay, and I'm going to fold that bit over like so, so that I get those coming across like that. And then I've just realised I've double-sided that, so we'll add in another page as well. Let's just go completely rogue, Deb, because you've just... Right, 6 1/4. 6 1/4 inch. I'm not quite off that edge there. Okay, by, what have I got on there? 4 3/4. So if I'm going to fold this bit, because I just want one bit to come out the last bit of the cover, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. There we go. Oops. Right, this is what they call thinking on your feet, all right? Oh, dear oh lordy, honest to goodness. Right, let's just, so that was 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 times one of those, and we're not scoring on that. Okay, right, so the plan is we are going to, that bit is going to come across on there, and we're going to stick that bit on there. Okay, so let's do that bit first. So one of these big bits that we've got folded over, I'm literally going to take the red liner tape off, and I'm going to, the 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch piece, I'm just literally going to stick down against that edge like so. Okay, so we've got like a little folio. Now this bit I'm going to then add onto the back there. Okay, so we're just going to peel that off. And again, I'm just going to line that up, which is just working out which way to sit that down. There we go. Right, I'm just going to line that up against that score line, making sure I've got that on the edge, like so. There we are. Right, okay, and that's going to fold in like so, and I'm just going to give that a good crease down there. So at the moment we've got, it looks like a little book, so you open it up and then you open that up, and then this last little one we're going to tuck in there, because then that's going to come just in on the inside. So I'm just going to take this one off, and I'm just going to line that up against where the score line is, and just drop that down. But again, as I've said before, if you're unsure about doing this straight off the cuff, as it were, then do use a bit of glue on your tape just to do that. And then I'm just going to fold that one. Did I put my Bernie? There we are. I'm just going to crease that. And this is literally then just the little folio, 1, 2, and then you've got the little tiny bit that opens up, so you can decorate that as much as you like. And if you're giving it as a gift, then I would do a little belly band. So should we do that? We've got time to do that. Let's make a little belly band for this. Let's go see what we've got, what I've got. A nice, okay, so it looks like a nice little gift. All right, so have I got anything wider than that? Have a little look. I need it to wrap around, be long enough. I don't think that's long enough. No, we'll go with this little bit, but I will show you with this piece, and obviously if you want to make it wider you can do. Now I'm just going to measure this. Now bearing in mind that it's not decorated at the moment, so we might need to put in a little tiny gusset step on it, so that when you've put in photos or anything like that, it will allow for that to expand a little bit. Okay, because if we make the belly band fit in right tight against that, then you're not going to have any wiggle room, and you're going to find it hard to put it on and off. So our measurement, just to double check here, is about 4 1/4. So I'm thinking let's go with 4 3/8, and then we're going to do probably about 1/8 of an inch either side for the depth. So let's have a little look. So back to the scoreboard. Now I'm going to do this right smack bang in the middle. I've got this long strip here, so this is 12 inches by 12 inches. So if I line this up in the middle roughly, so there's my 4 inch, there's my 8 inch, so I'm just going to line it up against the 4 inch, and that's coming to 8 1/4 inches. So if I line that up like so, I can go right, if that's 8 1/4, so I'm going to come 1/8 of an inch that side, and then 1/8 of an inch, so that's 3 7/8 by, and then we've got 8 1 2 3/8. Okay, now I can fold that, just test it beforehand before we do anything else. So that is going to slide up and down fairly easily. Okay, now I might get away with it just like that, but I'm going to put in a tiny little gusset as well of another 1/8 of an inch. So I'm literally now putting a score line in at 3 1/2, and I'm going to put a score line in on there. So that line's, oh, did I have that run the other way? Yes, I did. That's it, coming in 3. There we go. All right, so I've now got a tiny little gusset. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, that's just going to allow for the, once you've matted and put your decorative papers and everything else on there. Okay, all right. And then now I can see how much overlap I've got. So I can just trim that down and glue that together. So where are my lovely scissors? I'm just going to see how much overlap I've got. So I'm probably going to take about an inch or so off each one. Like so. That's going to just come over and grab that, which is what I need. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on there. You can use glue, or you could use a bit of red liner tape if you wanted. So I'm just going to fold that over. Bearing in mind I've got those gussets, so I'm just making sure that they're straight as that glues down. And there we are, and we've literally just made a very quick belly band. And then that can just tuck over and slide in down there. It will be a little bit loose to start with, but once you've put your pattern papers in there and your photos in there, then that will tighten up. And there we are, one mini little folio to go in one of the pockets in your Christmas album. Okay, well, I think in all honesty we've managed to get through quite a few different pages, fairly straightforward. Hopefully you've found that. And we've made a little accordion book, and we've made a little folio as well to go in. The only other thing that I can talk to you about is photo mats. Now, if you are making the album, obviously you're going to want something, well, you can either, you've got a choice, you can either put your photo mats in, if you're giving this as a gift and you want somebody, you know, to then be able to stick their own photos on, okay, or if you've got the photos to go in, then you can stick them on directly. But I just wanted to show you some of the photo mats that I've done. Now on this one, on the gusset pocket, the acetate gusset pocket, this is quite a big photo mat, and as you can see here, I've just added a little tab. I've decorated it on the other side, but if I had a big photo to go on there, then I could just stick that straight on there. And I normally allow, so depending on the size of the photo, I normally allow 1/8 of an inch all round. So if your photo is 4 inches by 6 inches, then I would do the photo mat at 4 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches to allow for that 8 all the way round. Okay, so let's just pop you back in there. Now here are some of the 4x6 photo mats that I've done. So I've literally just put, this is just copier paper, because if I was given this as a gift, and I've just stuck it on with some repositionable tape so they can just literally tear this off and stick their photo on. But if you had the photos, then you can just stick them straight onto the cards. Okay, I'll just pop that in here. This is the little folio that I made. Obviously I put in an extra page on that one, but again you can see what it looks like when it's all decorated up, and working out the measurements as well. So these will take a 3x4 photo on these flaps, and then you've got a nice big 4x6 on those, and then on the back again I've got smaller 3x4 photos. Now this is a stamp. I mean, I'll be honest, I bought this stamp some years back, but there's nothing to say that you can't just handwrite that on there if you haven't got a stamp. But I know there are some stamps available that do have like the cameras and things on it, so if you wanted to use those, you can. Some of the ephemera bits that I've used that I had that were in the packs of the 49 and Market Evergreen Season. You could see, look, on this one I've just put place photo here, so you could use that as a photo mat or as a mat for, you know, as a journaling label. Really up to you. But these were just random bits that were tucked in with all the ephemera stuff. What else have we got? These again, little photo mats. Now because it's in a little pocket, I've put a little tab on the end, okay, just to sort of make it easier to get those in and out. This one again is a loose one, and I've put, for this one I've put a card on the front. In the kit came with these 3x4 cards with these really lovely messages, but on the back you pop a photo. Yeah, if you've got lots of scraps of paper and that left over, then, and you just want photos on one side, then just decorate the back of it with them. And again, a little card there, so just tuck those in. And as you can see, I've made loads of little photo mats as I've gone along. Here's the W that I was telling you about on that page. So I've used 2 of the cards. In fact, this one I think was a page that I cut down instead of using a card. And then I've got place there to put photos on. Loads of photo mats in there. And again, using some of the little cards that come into it. This one looked like a little envelope. So there you go. I'm going to sort of tuck that in there as well. The envelope. This one opens up. And again, opportunity to put photos on there. A little bit of journaling. And, you know, you can tuck your, make big or small photo mats to go in. So it really does depend. If you get, like I said, if you're giving this as a gift and you haven't got your hands on the photos, then putting photo mats in like this is great, because it gives them an opportunity to sort of decide what they want to go in. But if you've got the photos ready to go in the album, then you know, you can sort of finish it off completely then. Another couple of little photo mats there for some of the little cards. Now on here, on the square dance with a twist, I've actually stamped over the papers, so you can just put a photo straight on there, okay, which is quite nice then, because they might think that they see one set of photos and then actually on the inside there's lots of others. The plait we did last week, it's got loads tucked in there, and again you've got the diagonal, it's got loads tucked in. The photo corners, now with the photo corners, I did mention this last week. Oh, I seem to have lost a bit of ephemera. Where did that come from? I think that was a spare one. If you had a really big photo to go on that page, you could actually slot that in first before you stick the photo corners down, so it looks like it's part of the album. But I've just made some little ones just to tuck in there, out the way. And then the folio that we've just made this evening. Here again, I've got photo mats tucked in there. I've made slightly bigger ones because it lends itself to that. And then I've cut some smaller ones to go in there, and I've even on this frame left it so you can slide a photo in and that will go down. So do use the ephemera, you know, go through it and see where you can use your bits and pieces. On the chevron, I mean, if I lift all of that up, you can see you've got where you can place photos underneath and on the other side. And then the last pocket here, again, photo mats tucked in on there as well. And I do believe this was the little accordion book that I made. So I had some spare paper that I cut down to size, and I found a really lovely sticker on that one. And again, you just got little photos on either side, and that's pretty much what I did on there. And that, I do believe, is it for this evening. Okay, so what I'm going to say is next week is the final one before Christmas in terms of making the album, because what I will show you next week is how to put the pages into the album itself. So that's attaching them to the hinges, and we will do the front cover and the back cover on the inside. I'll show you how to make the little pop-up for that, and then we'll just talk through some of the decoration, and then we're pretty much done. And that is it, and then it's really over to everybody else then to sort of go away using your papers to decorate your lovely Christmas albums. Or you might decide you don't want it for Christmas and you might want it for something else, but that's your prerogative. Okay, so thank you so much for watching tonight. As I said, quite a short and sweet one this evening, and I will catch up and see you all next week. Have a lovely evening. Oh, and hi Alison, just seen you were watching as well, so thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.